Hey everybody, just shooting another little vlog, wrapping up the whole conducting thing. This Saturday I conducted the concert band, as most of you are aware. It went well, it was a lot of fun, even after I almost tripped on my face going up to the riser. Those little auditorium chairs really aren't designed for older big people, so I was kind of like scrunched in there, and my left leg got a little stiff, but that was kind of good. As I said to the kids, now that the ice is broken, let's do this. And what was nice is in the front was a young lady I had met earlier in the day at the handicap party, and she and I saw each other, so we kind of, had that little connection, and I think it really went well. I'll be very honest with you, I've never conducted in my life, and the kids were leading me. Usually it's, there was literally the horses pulling the cart. Instead, and knowing the way instead of the rider giving the directions, and that's a testament to their abilities and talent. St. Francis Prep has one of the best music programs, not only in New York but in the country, and that's a fact, inarguable. For those of you who were there or maybe have seen some of the photos on Facebook, as I said, I had a moment that was Brother Leonard's and my father's worst nightmare, me with a live microphone. I had decided in advance that I had wanted to present Doc with something, a token of my appreciation, because really, this was his idea. Won it in an auction last March. I mean, he took the time to work with me, to let me work with the kids. It was great. But one thing I didn't find out till later, they have a little thing, a tradition with the guest conductors, that they get a little, what they call the booby prize. Or as Mr. David Kobayashi said, this is like Vegas, nobody goes home empty-handed. So I got this. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I can't really hold up to the camera because the print probably wouldn't focus, but I'll probably scan this in. This is actually my music history term paper from 1997. The date on it is January 27th, which means that might have been when I started working on it. And because I don't see handing in a term paper in January. I was floored. As I've said to a few people, I don't remember writing this. But looking it over, I mean, I've read it now a couple times. I've had Barbara look it over, and, it is my writing style. We do recognize it. There is no grade on it. That was part of the joke. Doc just never graded it, but I did get a grade for the class, so... but this is literally floored. I mean, this is just a wonderful thing. I mean, my entire family was taken aback, and I was left almost speechless. And for those of you who know me, know that's quite difficult. It was also a little sad, because really when I got up there on that podium, it kind of hit me that a lot of the teachers I had who would have gotten a kick out of this weren't there. Sunday was the 1-year day anniversary of Mr. Teofilo's passing. Today's the 1-year date anniversary. And it took me a moment, because I knew if he was there, I probably would have been working a lot more with him. And he would have just, been tickled. Mr. McGinley, I know he would have just been over the moon. I'm sure he would have had something to say about me tripping. I mean, that would have been something. But, and there's a couple other teachers Unfortunately, I wouldn't feel comfortable mentioning their names because I don't know why they weren't there. I know they've left prep over the years. It's been 15 years, but and I was thinking a lot about them. Just what, not so much what they meant to me, not so much education wise, but personally, just the way we got along. The 4 years of high school aren't the easiest of times, and they made it a lot easier. Um, there's a reason. Sometimes I really sometimes don't like talking about high school, but uh, being the 1 year anniversary of Mr. T's passing, I was trying to think of a story to share. Something, I mean, a lot of people who know me know Mr. T. Our relationship was built around Queen, the rock band. And I remember the last time I saw him was at the first music marathon, which they were raising money to send the kids to London. And I remember years when I was a student, and he had mentioned that he really doesn't regularly buy CDs. What he'll do is he'll wait, and then he'll buy 10 CDs at once, like 10 years worth of CDs. So when we saw each other, it had been 10 years or thereabouts, and we sat and basically we had 10 years worth of music to catch up on. The big thing being, did you see Queen when they came? And he goes, yes. Well, I assume you. And we talked about being, first time I saw Queen live, and the album Cosmos Rocks, and had he heard it, he liked it, and I mean, that was our relationship. It really was like we can go 10 years without seeing each other, and then pick right up where we left off. And I remember as a student, I had him for music theory, so this had to be junior year. And he was teaching us intervals. Now, for those of you who may not be musicians, intervals are basically the distance between notes when you're jumping from one note to another. Think of it as starting in your house and the distance it takes you to go to your friend's house. Like, the miles or what have you. So, when you're making that jump. And he's going through them, and he says, try to think of music that you listen to, and try to, listen for the intervals and relate it to that. And without missing a beat, he turns and says, for example, Charles here is probably sitting trying to think, which Queen song has this interval in it? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I remember at the time I just burned up and said, well, I already got it figured out. But in truth, it was like, I was just like, really? I was trying not to crack up. But I mean, that was the thing. I mean, the class got a good chuckle out of it. I enjoyed it. Going back to this paper, having Doc for music history, I mean, it was a very small class. I don't know if it's like that now, but there was about 5 of us, and maybe 4, no 5, and there's something to be gained in having an intimate class like that, and I think this proves how class sizes affect the way a student learns, because I don't think I would have gotten as much out of music history had the class been bigger. But I'm trying. I got to be careful with this story. I'm trying to think of a story that's for general audiences, because there's some that really shouldn't be shared on the internet. But for those of you who are longtime prep students, you know that Doc had the nickname Papa Smurf. Because for a while he had a little goatee like what I had, very puffy and white hair and what have you. So we were talking about electronic composition, which was using various non-acoustic based instruments to create music. There's now the electric composition lab there. I was one of the first students. Just throwing it out there. But anyway, he was playing us a selection, and it was like this very interesting orchestrated work. And he was talking about, this is a brilliant unknown artist, not too many, and sitting there, my little light bulb went off, and I realized that he's probably talking about himself. So of course it became less about appreciating the music and more like, how do I set up this reveal? So I said, well, he asked, well, throw out some words to describe the music, and I said, it's very, very good, very blue, almost Smurf-like, maybe Papa Smurf-like, and of course he's like, hey, I know what you're doing. It's like, and everyone else was completely oblivious in that class, and he goes, well, it was Doc, that was Doc's music, and it was very good, and it still is, and I'm glad to see that Prep is going forward with that. But I think I'll just wrap it all up here. Thank you to everyone who came. Thank you, even if you couldn't make it. I know some of you sent some well wishes, and I do appreciate that. But I do hope to see you all soon again in the future, maybe at the spring concert. I mean, the music department is wonderful. I almost forgot to mention David Kobayashi with his Prep chorus and the concert band ended the show with the Hallelujah chorus. And as it was a tradition, not so much from my time, but from my sister's time, Barbara's time, they invited alumni in the audience to come up and sing. Well, I made sure Barbara got her little tush up there, and she got to join in, and it was actually kind of funny because she was telling me later that she had to look at the mouth of the girl next to her because she couldn't remember the words except for Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. I, of course, did not go up there because I took a great amount of self-control. Because number one, I don't know the piece of music, but number two, I would stand there and sing into her ear, forever and ever, hallelujah, Triple H. Because King of Kings, it's the other King of Kings. I mean, the great King of Kings is Jesus, but I also have been referred to myself for years as the King of Kings before Triple H. And then there's Triple H, but now we're getting into wrestling and shouldn't really do that. But once again, thanks everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. To everyone else, happy holidays. Hug your loved ones. Spend time with them. Time is, we all know, very precious. And I'll see you again soon.